in terms of the debate, it'll be interesting because, these politicians, all they do is debate. They go from one debate to another. I've never done this before, but I still look forward to it. I have to do it. We have to make America great again, and this is part of the process you have to go through. It's not something I long for. It's not something I look forward to, being exposed like that. It's not something that, I do professionally, and these guys do it professionally, but I think we'll do just fine.
Yep, well, he was lowering the expectations. Joining us now is David Goodfriend, Democratic strategist, former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Clinton, and David Drucker, former staff writer for Roll Call, senior congressional correspondent for the Washington Examiner, who is in Cleveland. Correct, David?
Correct.
All right, so in anticipation of the main event and having heard, Donald Trump lower expectations, how important is this to Donald Trump, and what do you expect? What kind of strategy do you expect from him tonight?
Well, I'm not sure because he's never really shown discipline in his campaigning. This is released a campaign announcement speech to the media and then completely went off the cuff and ignored it. The one difference between this and when he's on the stump is he doesn't get to control the time. The time's going to be tightly controlled. With 10 candidates on the stage, by the time you add it all up, I bet you everybody gets about 10 minutes of talk time each if they're lucky. And that means that in order to punch through, he's going to have to be sharp and focused. And at least, it's not that you have to answer the question, and politicians don't like to answer questions, but you want to get your message across. Introduce yourself, and he's not going to be able to do that in the meandering way that he usually does.
David, what are Democrats going to be looking at tonight? I mean, I know Hillary's got to watch her house flipping channel, as she said on her porch chat the other night. She just loves watching those houses flip, and if people are going to get their money, and she's just addicted to it, which is a load of baloney. But I'm sure you might be watching. What are you, as a Democratic strategist, what are you looking for tonight?
Well, I am noticing among the establishment Republican Party commentators today, there is a tinge of negativity aimed at Donald Trump, as if the dog whistle message to all Republicans is, this is starting to get serious, we need to take this guy down a peg. And I think that's very dangerous because he is, by far, the leading candidate in the Republican field right now. And I think that the people within the Republican Party he's attracting are precisely the people who've had it with establishment politics. And if it looks like there's some sort of party cabal aimed at Trump, it's going to only strengthen him. So I think the establishment people within the Republican Party are in a pickle. And the Democrats will be looking to see whether or not the lineup that we have going into the debate, as the polls have it, with Trump way in front, is what shows up after the debate. And I predict that the debate will do fairly little to rearrange the top 3 or 4 Republicans in the field right now.
David Drucker, do you think that, I mean, based on David Goodfriend's answer, that and based on now that we hear that Bill Clinton encouraged Trump to play a bigger role in the Republican Party shortly before he announced, do you think that it's in Clinton's, Clinton perceives, and David Goodfriend, who I'll ask in a minute, perceives that it's in their interest to have Donald Trump run?
I didn't say that.
No, I'm asking. I'll ask you that in a second. I'm asking David Drucker if he thinks that that's the case.
Well, look, who knows what they really think? But if you look at the polling, I'm sure Donald Trump nominated at this point. I doubt it'll happen at the end of the day. But Hillary Clinton, trouble she's having in the polls, still trashes Donald Trump nationally in polling. There was a new Hampshire poll out. Hillary Clinton was losing a couple of Republican candidates, except she was beating the Donald by 10 points in New Hampshire. Right now, I think Democrats are gleeful damaging Donald Trump Republicans' problems. Why? Because he's not electable in a general election, and with so many solid, you may like them, you may not, they may be too moderate, but with so many candidates running, that potential.
Right, we're having a little trouble. You're cutting in and out, David. You're cutting in and out a little bit, but you're cutting in and out. But I get the crux of what you're saying. Obviously.
Yes, can I respond to
go ahead, David Goodfriend. Yeah.
So, Michael, David was making a point that I want to pick up on, and it's a valid point, and that is, in head-to-head matches polling, matches between Hillary Clinton and each of the Republican candidates, overall nationwide, according to RealClearPolitics.com, she still beats them, but she beats Trump the most by far. Why that's interesting is because Trump beats the other Republicans by far in the primary, and that suggests that the more popular the candidate with the core Republican primary voters, the less popular with the general public in a head-to-head matchup against Hillary Clinton. So forget about whether or not Donald Trump is going to be the nominee. This suggests to me a disconnect between the Republican primary voter and the general election voter.
Really? You think George Pataki would beat Hillary Clinton?
I don't think anybody's going to beat Hillary.
My point is that George Pataki and the others are at the bottom. You think any of them are going to beat Hillary? I see what you're saying, but I don't think it holds true to the end if you take it to its natural conclusion, and that if the top and the ones at the top of the polls can't beat Hillary because they have the core base support, then you would say, well, the ones who don't have the core base support could, and they can't. They don't even register, and they wouldn't register.
I'll tell you somebody who's not running, who did not do well last time around.
Yeah.
John Huntsman could beat Hillary Clinton, and he's not even in the race.
All right, David Drucker, final word. Again, what could we expect tonight? All right, we were having problems with David. David, we're having trouble with your Skype. I'm sorry for that, and thank you for giving your time to us from Cleveland, the site of the debate. Thanks to David Drucker and to David Goodfriend. Up next, we're going to have Ronald Kessler, best-selling author, and he's going to talk about the two Trumps. Don't go away.